Well, hello my friends, it's Shawn Petite and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Here are the two projects that we're doing today. So much fun and just for you. Here are the products and stencils that we'll be using today. So I'm starting my projects on 5x7, roughly a 5x7 Bristol paper. And I've got two out here because I'm making two different ones. I'm using basically the same techniques on both of them. So I am trying to get a watercolor effect here. So I'm taking some Deco Art craft paints. I'll use some Arteza craft paints, a few things. And I'm watering them down, and I've kind of wet my paper, and I really want them to just kind of float around and do their thing and kind of get a real watercolor look without the actual watercolor so that it's permanent. And I'm using really muted colors because I want the focal point to stand out. So I've got like a light sage gray, and I think it's called Misty Morning, that kind of pinkish color. It's so pretty. Problem I was having with this is my paper is starting to buckle. Now I have just sewed my paper, so I didn't think that it would do that, but you're going to watch it kind of buckle and all of the paint kind of roll off. And so I'm going to add some more paint to it, but I still love the effect. It still worked out. And I'm going to basically do the same exact thing on this one, same colors and everything, but just getting that kind of light neutral palette to be a great backdrop for the focal point. So you can kind of see the one on the right now is buckling up, and all the paint's kind of rolled off of it a bit. And so I was like, oh, well, okay. So I thought, well, I'm going to add a little bit more color to it. And all of the supplies will be listed on the blog, and the link to the blog will be down below in the YouTube description box. So now that they're dry, I am using the Giving Hands stencil, and I'm going to do a dark tone skin and a lighter tone skin tone for each piece, and just kind of getting my rough sketch out here. And I've kind of pulled back some of that paint just to kind of give it a softer, muted kind of feel. I'm going to go over it quite a bit, so it doesn't really matter. The first color that I used was Raw Umber by Lucas, and this is called Portrait Tone Color by Nova Color. I'm adding a little bit of gesso to it, to both colors actually, to kind of give it some variety, to give it some depth. And now I'm just going to come back in and kind of add in my highlights and my lowlights so that it's not so flat. I wanted it to look rustic and kind of almost folk art-ish in a way, and still have some of that kind of watercolor feeling, because I love the look of watercolor and kind of that modeling and blooming that happens, but I don't work well with watercolor, and I don't like that it's not permanent. So I'm just going to kind of continue to do the dance here a little bit and kind of fill in the gaps, and then add some depth and dimension with some different colors, layers, tones. And these two pieces will be free to you in the resource library. They're a gift to you because you are my inspiration for these today. And so they will be free in the resource library with words and without words. And I do share more about that inspiration at the end of the video, so I hope that you stick around for that conversation. And again, all of my paints are watered down. And I'm using the same colors. I'm just adding gesso or not adding any gesso at all to get lights and darks. I take that back. I do add, I think it's a caramel color, and it's very warm, creamy caramel. And but I will have that again listed in the supplies. And I'm going to do the same dance here on these hands as well, lights and darks, adding some lighter tones, some of that caramel, and I think there's a beige color in there as well, and then some gesso. So now I'm going to put my focal point or my embellishments on my focal point. This is the Giving Hands stencil again. And now I've picked up the wreath maker. I love the leaves on the wreath maker. And again, I wanted it to be kind of rustic and not too realistic. And these leaves were perfect. And I didn't add a lot to them. I'm using Artesa's olive green. Oh, I love this olive green. And then I will also use Deco Art Americana's Thicket color for the smaller branches. And here's the Thicket color. Beautiful, beautiful color. I used quinacridone magenta from Nova Color for the heart. And just adding some of that Thicket color in some of the branches, just kind of free form. And then a berry sprig from the wreath maker. And I'm going to add my embellishments to the second pair of hands. And I wanted this to look like brown paper bag. And so I used the raw umber and some caramel and kind of varied it with a little bit of gesso. Perfect. Same with the leaves. Same colors with the leaves. So now that I've got all my leaves in and all of my embellishments, I'm going to just kind of fill everything in. And I'm using that quinacridone magenta from Nova Color for my bow, and then for some berries. Filling in some of the leaves, not too much, but I'm adding a few extra sprigs here and there to kind of fill it out a little bit. And again, I didn't want to do too much to it because I really wanted it to be kind of folk artish, rustic looking. Adding my berries. So now I'm going to kind of fill in all the parts on the second pair of hands, adding some additional swooshes of greenery and different things like that in the same colors. Adding my bow. And filling in the berries with some magenta. Now I'm going to start the shading process and shade around everything. And I won't shade quite as much as I typically do. Again, I want it to be kind of rough and rustic. You can see me looking at my hands. So I'm like, is that how it would look if my hands were turned upside down? So I kept looking at my hands to see the parts that, you know, I needed to maybe accent. So I'll do that a few more times just to kind of make it a little bit more realistic. And I am switching between extra soft, medium, and hard pencil because I wanted some really fine detailed lines. That would be with the hard pencil. And then my super shading comes with my extra soft. And then the medium gives me a little bit softer, but not quite as much shading happens with the medium. Because I didn't want to shade it too much and darken it down because I was loving how it was looking. So I just needed some details. I grabbed a couple of somewhat neutral pastels. This one's almost kind of pinkish, like the color in the background, and then a white. Just to add some highlights. And then I'm going to not completely shade around my leaves. I am going to kind of connect some of the lines a little bit, not too much, because I love how it looks. going to go through the same exact process with this one, shading with my 3 different types of pencils and using my soft pastels. It's exactly the same. And that's really it for this project. I hope you grab yours. They're free to you in the resource library as a huge, huge thank you for all your love and support. And stick around for the conversation at the end to share a little bit more about that. And I hope you have a wonderful week, rest of your week, holiday. And I will see you next Sunday. Well, happy Sunday, my loves. Look at how positively adorable those are. I love them. Love, love, love. Okay, went over everything in the video. The stencils that I use, the 2 stencils, the Wreath Maker and the Giving Hands, will be on sale this week. And then, let's see. I don't think I have anything else just yet. Almost out with the new workshop. COVID has really challenged me to get some of these things done with staffing and all the things, but I'm close. So probably within the next week, the new Mixed Media Kickstart workshops will be out. And then I made these for you. They will be free to you in the resource library, with the words and without the words, so that you can use them however you would like. And that's really all that's my inspiration. That's my message, is that I am just so incredibly, incredibly grateful for you. And I won't, this will be the last video before Christmas. And so I just wanted to wish you a wonderful holiday, and you might not celebrate Christmas, or you might celebrate a different way or at a different time, whatever your tradition or faith or whatever that is. I just want you to know at this time of the year how grateful I am. It's been an insane year, and it has challenged and caused us to grow, and helped us realize some things. 2020 has, and I have such a grateful heart for your support, for your love, for your orders, for being here and showing up and commenting and liking and creating along with me. All of that is so, it just blesses my soul. Without the orders, just being part of the community, you being part of the community, I'm just so incredibly grateful. And I wish you love, joy, and peace in this coming year. Hopefully, we will get through all of the things that have been happening with grace and mercy and love. And like I said, while it's been hard, it's definitely this 2020 has taught us so many. It's taught me so many things about again, grace and mercy and rest and diversity, and it's given me voice to things that I didn't think I had voice for, and it's challenged me in ways that I at some points wasn't sure I would be able to see through, like running the business on my own, but we did it. And you know, staff is back, and we're not at full force yet, but yeah, it's just been a year, and I'm just so incredibly grateful for you. So I hope that these will bless you, and that you will give them away or share them or whatever, use them for your personal use, and just enjoy them. And just know that I'm thinking of you during this time, through the holidays, and however you celebrate them. And I hope that your holiday, however it is, will give you peace. Sometimes holidays are hard. I know, I've been there. And there's lots of reminders of loved ones and losses and different things like that. And there's also reminders of joy. And we can create that joy. We can create that peace. We can create the things that we need if we choose to. So my loves, I hope you have a wonderful holiday, and I hope these bless you, and I hope that you always, always know that you are loved.